Jane and welcome to another Silhouette Studio tutorial. Today we're going to draw a simple shape, a heart, but we're going to add a few little touches that make it a little bit more interesting. Although I'm using the designer edition, I'm going to keep this fairly simple so that whether you have the designer edition or the basic edition, you'll be able to achieve the same effect. To get started, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to use this zoom and draw out an area so that we've got a nice grid that we can see. And while I remember, let's put snap to grid on while we're doing our first bit of drawing. Let's open our colour panel and move it up here. I'm going to just choose to start with, let's choose a light pink colour. And we want this tool, the draw a curve shape. And I'm going to start in the middle. And I'm not really going to worry too much about whether this is going to look right the first time, because we're going to be doing some point editing. There we go, and click to join, and then select, and then do the quick double click to open point editing, which I'll move under there. I'm going to start at the bottom, and we're going to make that a corner because we want a bit of a point on our heart at the bottom. I'm going to just drag in that. Okay, and we're going to do the same with this, but first just going to move that up one and then bring the handles up like so. And now I'm just going to make it a little bit more like a heart and drag and make things straight. And I think if we pull this one out to make that straight, and pull this one out to make that straight, I think that might do. I'm not going to make it any bigger, that will do. And I'll just use my select tool. So I've got my basic heart shape now. We're going to do some little bits of embellishing now, and it all depends what order you want to do them in, but I'm going to do text next. And I'm going to have to move that up here so that I can see everything. Click the text tool over here. You can use any font that you like. For this I found one on the computer called Gaudi Old Style that I quite liked. And I'm going to change the points to 30 to make a start and press enter. And for colour, I'm going to just move up this wheel and make it a darker red. It's probably a bit too dark. I'll make it like that. You can choose whatever you like. Put my capitals lock on and type the word love. And then, oh, let me take snap to grid off. And to decide where I might want it. I want it to go on most of the heart. So I would think that'll probably be where I want it. I'm going to make it even darker. Yeah, that will do. And now we're going to do a little bit of magic. I'm going to bring it back out here, and I'm going to use this duplicate, and I'm going to change one to a grey. I also ought to take the line off. We don't want the line because we don't want it to be cut. So I should take the line off this one too. And then let's bring the red one forward. And we're going to make it look like it's got a shadow. Line them up. Just select them both together for the moment so we can move them. I know the grey isn't showing yet, but that's because actually I wanted to change this to a gradient. So let's change it to a gradient. I've used this pink one there. Well, it's a bit orange, don't like that. What's pale pink like? Bit wishy-washy. Oh, what's this one? Oh dear, no. Let's have this one. And I want to just alter the gradient a little. You have to be careful because you can see it sort of ends up with a funny edge. So it's a little bit trial error. I think we'll go for 90. And I still don't like that grey actually. I don't think it's showing up as much as I would like. So let's bring it out and let's change it to darker or lighter. Lighter. And then, yes, that's better. And I think that will do. But I'll just, this is why I should have just moved this down first and done it this way. There. Then I can highlight those, group them and move it into place. At last, well done Jay. Okay, now we're going to do another little bit of text. I'm going to keep the same font and the same size, but I'm going for a dark grey this time. I think that one, the third one along, will do for this. Take my caps lock off. And again, must remember to take off the line. Move it under there and make it the size that I want, and actually I still think it wants to be a bit darker. I'm going to move that in a little bit. I'm going to move this one up a little bit and just make it a touch smaller. And just make that under a little. Okay, so that's that. Now we're going to do another little bit of magic, and we can get rid of the text because we don't need that. I'm going to leave point editing because I will still want that in a little while. And first thing, I want to highlight our heart shape and find the offset panel, and I want an internal offset, and it will do that. And in here I'm going to put 0.15, click the corner, and it hasn't done it. Sometimes it is really awkward. So 0.15, there we go. And I've now got a really, really fine border. And I want to change the fill colour to white. And let's remember up here to take off the line. And you may wonder what I'm doing, but we're now going to make this mostly transparent, and it adds like a bit of a highlight over the whole thing that gives us just a little edge with a darker border. So I've set the transparency at 85. And now I want to bring that forward so that it's also over the writing. Now, because it's 85, we might not be able to see it. Let's put it back down, and let's use the, which one is it? Bring forward. And now you can see twice, it's over all of our writing. And now I can do this back to 85, and I know it's over the writing. Doesn't make a huge big difference, but it's all about little bits of layers. My work in Paint Shop Pro has taught me that lots of little adjustments and layers can create quite a good overall effect. Now we're going to add a few more highlights, and for that we're going to use the curve shape again. Let's take the line off immediately. I'll remember to do that, and I'm going to leave the colour here as black, and we'll change it once we've actually drawn them and got them in position, and it just helps you to see where they're going. And I'm imagining that my light is hitting this puffy sticker idea that I've got in my head from the top left. So we'll have a highlight here, maybe a little bit of one over here, and a bit coming down this side. So I'm going to start here and just I'm going to draw them all in to start with. And then show you how to edit them to make them look like little highlights. And then draw. There we go. So let's take our selection tool, and let's start with this one and double click so we get the point editing. I'm not going to change the colour just yet. Let's do the editing first. We sort of want to make it so that it ends up with a nice sort of pointy end, so that it looks as though it's thinning out as the light doesn't reach that little bit. I'm just going to pull this down a little bit, grab that handle and pull that up. this handle can come down. Let's just pull that out a little bit over there. Move this one. Change the handle a little bit. That'll do. And then change the fill colour to white, and the transparency for highlights like this I tried 40. I thought that worked quite well, and that's that one done. So now we can click this other little one here, which isn't looking too bad for shape, so I don't think I'm actually going to mess with that one too much. We'll just change the colour and make the transparency 40. Move on to the next one, double click, and let's just do a little bit of adjustment here because I don't quite like the look of this one as much. I want it to be a bit more curvy. And pull that out a little bit there. And let's take this hand, oops, this handle down a little over here. Just pull it out there. And I think we don't need it as thick over this side because the light won't be coming over quite as much. Yeah, that will do. And change that to 40. As well. I can close my offset panel. I don't think I need point editing anymore. And before we go any further, let's select all those and group selected shapes. And now if we zoom out, you can see that from a distance it really does look like that these little white highlights are actually light catching a plasticky, puffy, reflective sticker. And you can of course make this as big or as small as you like it, bearing in mind that the smaller that you make it, the less the writing will be visible. I'm not actually going to do that just for the moment. I just want to show you that when you want to send this off to be cut, if we go to the send window, if your silhouette automatically goes to simple, it will try to cut everything that it's seeing in red. So check this tab, the line, so that it's only looking for the red line and set your cut settings for that. And it should do just the outline that we left around that first heart shape. Now, what if you actually want to make it a sticker and have a white border? Well, of course you can do that simply by doing the offset. So if we zoom in again, and because I always worry that I might mess up something that I've just spent ages doing. So here's what I would do. I would duplicate that because I like that one and I don't want to ruin it. And then we'll use this one and let's ungroup everything. And then it's a question of, can we actually get close enough to pick up the outside heart? I think that's the one that we want. No, that's picked up the white, can you see? So let's undo. So can I get, yes, I've done it. I've got to the pink heart underneath there. So now we could use offset again, and this time it could be an external offset. And you could leave it at the standard, and if you want it nice and smooth, or you can click the corner so you get a sharper and click apply. And that means, of course, that you will need to take off the line from the original heart underneath. And I probably should have thought of doing that sooner, because now I'm thinking, how am I going to get to that? So let me have a think. This is where I really ought to have thought about this a bit more now, because I'm going to move that where I can see it, look, because it's white and I'm not going to see it. And I'll get rid of that. And now I want to get, there we go, a pink heart. And let's take the line off because we don't want that cutting. And now I can move, if I click on my white heart over there, and if I go for right and top, it's not exactly where we want it, but if I then do the centre and centre with that, it should be back where we want it. And then you can group that together. And now you've got one where it cuts out exactly round your coloured heart, and one where you've got a border. So off camera, rather than making you watch me fiddle around and turn this into a really long video, here's what you can do now you've got your heart template. You can save it, and then you'll be able to change it up with all manner of patterns and coloured text. You can also, of course, change the words to whatever you want. You might even want to stick a photo of your beloved in there. Really, you can use it for whatever you like. You'll notice that I've made some of them smaller over on the right hand side there, and as I said, the text will get smaller too and become less visible and readable. A lot of making text readable when you're making things to print, especially if you're going to be putting them in something small or you want a small version, is trial and error. Mostly you'll have a good idea that if you can't really see it on your screen like this, and you know it's like under an inch and it's not looking very readable, then your font is going to need altering. I hope though that this gives you an idea of how you can draw a simple heart shape and fill it with any colour, gradient and pattern that you like, and cut it out and make lots of little pretty hearts to stick all over your scrapbook pages or your traveller's notebooks or your pocket pages or whatever you really want to do with them. I'll have to come up with something for next time. I'm not entirely certain what that will be yet. So until I see you again, take care.